What's going on, guys? MariK here, back with another Dragon Ball Super video. Today we are showcasing our build for one of everybody's favorite villains from Dragon Ball GT, Baby Vegeta. Now, I don't actually have the leader card on me because I don't own the leader card. I was borrowing one of my teammates, but here's the leader card for you to go along with. When this card attacks, you get to draw a card, so unfortunately it has to attack leader, which kind of sucks, but you don't really have to do that to get the draw. Instead, you can use his activate main, which says once per turn, choose a card in your life, add it to your hand, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, give it minus 5,000 power. So, you can even use that without them having a battle card, without having to choose a battle card, because it says choose up to. So, self-awakening ability is really nice. When he awakens, you get to untap 2 your energy, switch it to active mode, which is far superior in my opinion, to get to Saiyan Power Baby Vegeta. On the Awaken side, his ability is really nice. Once per turn, you can choose a battle card. It gets minus 15,000 power. If you do, you can choose 2 of your opponent's battle cards, and they use minus 10,000 power. Now, that makes it really easy to KO cards, especially with the cards we run in this deck. Obviously, there's baby support as well. So, we'll go ahead and start with the baby support. First up is going to be the catalyst that starts it all. We run 4 Baby Vengeance Unleashed. His unit absorb just says choose one of your battle cards, place it under this card. If you lose a red machine mutant, choose a baby with energy cost 4 or less with the same character name from your deck, play it on top of this card, then shuffle your deck. Obviously, we're going to be choosing a baby card, and we can play him and absorb another baby card because why the hell not? So it makes it very easy to just play another 1-drop to absorb. I would generally wait till turn 2, so you play one, play the other, and then union. But, you know, if you want to risk him getting murdered by an effect on turn 1, be my guest. And then, of course, we're going to go into Saiyan Strength Baby, 20,000, Double Strike. When you play this card, you get to draw a card, and then choose one of your opponent's battle cards. It gets minus 20,000 power for the duration of the turn. So you're pretty much going to get a 20,000 Double Strike by turn 2, and KO anything your opponent's going to have on the board. That's a lot of power so early on. And doing double strike damage is really nice too. I don't like the idea of giving my opponent those cards, but then if you really wanted to take it a step further, then you can go to Super Baby 1 Parasitic Menace. This card is an EX Evolve on a red baby with energy cost of 4, so it has to be Saiyan Strength Baby. No cost to play him. He's got double strike as well, additional 5,000 power, and when you evolve, he draws a card, choosing your opponent's battle cards, it gets minus 5,000 power, and then you can't play this card for the rest of the turn. So you get to minus 25,000, one of your opponent's battle cards, or in this case, minus 20 and minus 5, potentially KOing 2 cards. You get to draw 2 cards, and then if you have the open energy, then the activate main for 1 red says choose one baby with an energy cost of 6 from your hand, played on top of this card. Like, this card right here gave Baby so much power. And as much as I don't particularly care for the character, I love the deck and I love the way it plays with all of its card mechanics. Now, with that ability, you're going to play Epochal Grudge Grade 8 Baby. He's a 30,000 with triple strike that you would have normally had to evolve on a baby for 2 red and 2 other. But that promo allows you to do it for just 1 red energy, which is absolutely absurd. Once per turn, when this card attacks, or your opponent plays a battle card, so once during either you or your opponent's turn, if your leader is Machine Mutant, draw a card, choose one of your opponent's battle cards, it gets minus 20,000 for the duration of the turn. So, again, minus 20,000, again, you're getting to draw a card. Like, this deck gives you a lot of card advantage, while kind of preventing your opponent from keeping anything on the board outside of cards that have barrier. Even Deflect is useless in this particular situation because, I mean, none of these are counter cards. So as soon as they play cards, you're just going to go, oh, it's dead. Now, to go along with this theme, I personally thought this was a good matchup. It feels kind of weird to have the 2 characters together in the same deck, but a lot of my decks are like that. So I don't really worry about it because they flow together really well. And if you don't have the pieces to go into Baby, then you might have the pieces to go into Frieza. So we start with 4 Frieza Overture to Battle, 5,000 power. When you play him, if your leader is, you choose one of your red leader cards or battle cards, and he gets plus 5,000 power. Not a super big deal, but you can give your leader a little bit extra power. And then he's a swap, so you can immediately swap him from the board into Evolutionary Process Frieza. It's a 15k that gets minus 5,000 power during your opponent's turn. So you're basically going to want to play him and just keep him in active mode, or you're going to want to wait, play the Frieza turn 2, swap him to this Frieza, and then use his swap for 1 red energy to go ahead and swap him back to your hand and play Frieza Storm of Blows. He also has 15k, but he has Barrier to protect himself, and when he comes into play, you can choose one of your opponent's battle cards with 20,000 power or less and KO it. So, the baby support along with this chain kind of goes into just KOing your opponent's stuff and not letting them do anything. Which is just, I mean, that's what both of these leaders should be about, if we're being honest. Then, of course, to go ahead and finalize the chain, we do run 3 Final Showdown Frieza. Now, the reason this is not as relevant is because you don't get his effect, because your leader is not Frieza's army. But you do still get a relatively cheap 25k double strike crit, which, believe me, has come in handy in all the matches I played. This deck is super fun and does really well against a lot of decks. As long as they don't have barrier, or a lot of barrier, you can just breeze through a lot of their cards. Then, because the whole deck is red, of course, we had to include Frieza Army Reborn. This gives us basically 3 boss cards we're going to focus on. Either Frieza Army Reborn if you draw it, the Final Showdown Frieza, or the Apocalypse Grudge Baby. And this card, of course, 40,000, Quad Strike. When you play him, your opponent reveals their hand. You get to choose a card from your opponent's hand, place it in the drop area, and then choose all of their battle cards, 40,000 or less, ignoring barrier, and KO it. This is probably one of the most dangerous cards, because it's going to KO everything your opponent has, ignoring barrier. It doesn't care. There's nothing that's going to be left alive. And then Quad Strike. And if you've ripped away the cards your opponent has, and you'll know if they have anything to stop you, or if they have enough cards to combo, so you can just dump your hand and just throw caution to the wind and just straight up murder them with this card. I don't care for Frieza, and I don't care for Broly as characters, but this card right here is an absolute monster. Then, because I feel like this is the best super combo to play, we run 4 Master Roshi Martial Expert. He's your sparking super combo that he automatically has 10,000 power, lets you draw a card. To go ahead and kind of snipe cards on the board, we also run 2 Vow Revenge. This is basically a 0-cost card that you can activate during your turn to give any of your opponent's battle cards minus 15,000 power. So again, it's a free snipe, or you can use it to get your opponent's cards low enough, use the leader's ability, and then just straight up KO them. Then we run 4 of the best card, in my opinion, for any baby deck, Revenge Death Ball. It's an activate battle that if your leader card is a red machine mutant, red baby card rather, it gets plus 10,000 power for the duration of the battle, and then you can choose one of your opponent's battle cards and gets minus 15,000 power for the duration of the turn. So again, another way to really just snipe your opponent's cards and keep everything off their board. Absolutely love that card. Then, just to make things even more frustrating for your opponent, we run 4 After Image Technique. It's your sparking negate that you can play while still being tapped out. It gives your leader 40,000 power. Gives your opponent's attacking card minus 10,000. You can use this to, again, KO opponent's battle cards, and you combine it with the leader's abilities. You can combine it with not the leader's ability. You can combine it with Apocalypse Grudge Baby's abilities. You can combine it with Revenge Death Ball. There's just so many things that you can do with that card. And then lastly, we run 4, Is That All You've Got? Because if you have the open energy, and if you want to clear multiple cards, then instead of playing After Image, you can play Is That All You've Got? It's a counterplay that lets you discard a card to give 2 of your opponent's battle cards minus 15,000 power. This deck is all about controlling your opponent's board, keeping their stuff off the board by cutting their power and KOing them by that mechanic, And this is a great way to get rid of 2 of your opponent's battle cards instead of 1. Again, this is since you have to discard, it does kind of you have to choose when is better to play this versus another card. But if they have multiple battle cards and you can get rid of them, there's no reason not to play that card, even if you have to discard something you don't want to. This deck has done really well against a lot of competitive stuff as well. I can't think off the top of my head what exactly we played, but again, outside of stuff with barrier, this just shreds your opponent's board, and they're not going to have anything on the board for more than a turn. So if they're going to play it, they may as well use it then and there. But that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for this deck profile. If you guys enjoy this video, if you guys enjoy the concept of putting the Frieza swap from Clash of Fates with the baby support and all of the power reducing effects as well, let me know in some comments below what you think about the deck and any significant changes we can make or suggestions you have that would make the deck run better. Because personally, I have a lot of people that like the baby engine. I like the baby engine. I love the play style of the deck, and I feel like the Frieza just goes well with it without actually hindering any sort of play style strategies. Sure, the 5 drop doesn't get the ability, but he still has double strike crit, which is an absolute menace, and your opponent does not want to get hit by that. But with that, we're going to go ahead and get the frig out of here now, and we'll see you guys in the next video.